Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So recently there was a post going around on X. And again, before I really dive on into what I really want to address in this video, I have to talk about this because there was a post going around on X, and basically what it was, spotlighting was the US SEC website having this static file on the website where it was titled Comprehensive Proposal XRP as a Strategic Financial Asset for the US. Now, this did get posted by Bank XRP initially, and it did include, of course, this whole breakdown around the unlocking of trillions through XRP, including the Nostro accounts, the US share of Nostro accounts, capital released using XRP, and all this kind of stuff. And, again, there's 5 pages to this, and it all sounds great on paper until you realize that almost anyone could pretty much throw these files up on the SEC website. We have over here from vet_x0. Anyone can submit proposals and comments to the SEC, and within a short review time, it's posted on the website. This is not a document authored by the SEC itself regarding an XRP strategic reserve. So again, this caused a lot of people to just kind of be very disappointed initially, especially considering the fact that it did get a ton of likes, engagement, etc. Like here we have everyone posting about it, 7.6K likes, 400,000 views, another one, 218,000. This got posted by the same person twice. Again, like when we think about what's going on here, like this is engagement farming essentially. And everyone that's posting it, a lot of people don't realize that this is just fake. Like I believe Bank XRP actually posted this about 5 hours ago. He did also post again talking about how the document was submitted by some random person. So again, a lot of people are just kind of unaware that this is fake. And this is one of the biggest problems around the XRP community, where we do have some of this information that just gets posted because it gets views and clicks and likes. And it is becoming a big issue. So I just want you guys to understand that this document, although, it looks great on paper, it's not an official SEC document. It just got posted by somebody that submitted this to the SEC. But again, it is still, great recognition of the overall efficiencies around XRP and what could possibly happen if XRP was a key US financial asset included in that strategic stockpile. But outside of that, let's actually talk about some very exciting moves being made, which is the Genius Act. So over the last couple days, we saw a post from Eleanor that did say the updated text of Hegarty's stablecoin bill, the Genius Act, has dropped. Now, there's a lot within this that outlined reserve requirements, liquidity requirements, compliance requirements, things like that, all around US dollar denominated payment stablecoins. And this is mainly stablecoins that are issued overseas, but there's also a lot of discussions around just issuers in general. And a lot of this actually pertain right back to RLUSD. Big shout out to Jeremy Hogan for this. We have a full breakdown of this. So I only had time tonight to skim read the new proposal stablecoin bill, the humbly named Genius Act, a couple of thoughts, and a big question I need help with. Now, I will answer his question here in a second. But we have number 1, as many people in the comments have already mentioned, passage of this act would be the death of USTD in the US. Number 2, this bill is thick and meaty. It addresses a lot of things, including the interaction of US federal laws on stablecoins with foreign laws and state laws, etc. I honestly couldn't take it all in. Number 3, the reserve requirements, AML requirements, etc. all fall neatly for RLUSD and USDC. Number 4, bigger picture, the legislation is explicitly making plans for stablecoins to interact with the traditional digital banking system. The merge is being planned. And yes, this is something that I want to focus on after I'm done with this because it is very important to highlight. Now, his question is, the Genius Act requires the issuer of any stablecoin to have the technological capability to comply with the terms of any lawful order. Later, the act defines the required technological capabilities as the issuer's ability to freeze, burn, or even prevent the transfer of payment stablecoins. So can Ripple or Circle actually freeze RLUSD or USDC once it's transferred? I didn't think that was possible for either. Thank you. Now, for those out there that have been focused on the amendments, yes, there's a clawback amendment on RLUSD. So RLUSD could be freezed or frozen in this case, and also clawed back. And even vet_x0 did respond and said, I'll never come close to your dank comparisons when answering, so I won't try. But yes, RLUSD can be frozen and clawbacked on both Ethereum and the XRP ledger if the issuer Ripple is requested by law enforcement or court orders to do so. I was critical about the clawback feature because it delayed the creation of the RLUSD AMM pool on the XRP ledger due to the amendment, but it was good they enabled it looking at this bill. But you know what? I always said that the clawback amendment was very bullish because it's exactly what allowed Franklin Templeton to actually tokenize on Stellar because of the clawback amendment. So, this is why I've always said that amendment is crucial. That feature is very, very important, especially from the institutional regulatory side of things. Now, with all that in mind, why am I bringing up old news? Because all of this happened on March 10th. Well, it is because of this. So big shout out to Bank XRP. We have the Genius Act to boost regulatory clarity for stablecoins. Could fuel RLUSD and cross-border growth. Check it out.
The digital asset community, and more importantly, the American consumers, deserve clarity. For far too long, the absence of a regulatory framework has left consumers vulnerable and businesses in the dark. This uncertainty has also stifled innovation here at home in America. That changes today. The Genius Act is a bipartisan step forward in ensuring stablecoins are safe and reliable tools in the financial system. The Genius Act establishes common sense rules that require stablecoin issuers to maintain reserves backed one-to-one, comply with anti-money laundering laws, and ultimately protect American consumers while promoting the U.S. dollar's strength in the global economy. This is about keeping innovation and opportunity on American soil rather than driving it overseas. We are also taking an action today to end the weaponization of financial regulators.
So again, we are now starting to see stablecoins taking center stage, being talked about heavily and addressed heavily because of the benefits for the US dollar. Now is the time to act on stablecoins. The US wants to get behind this. They want to be prepared because we already know how big stablecoins are becoming. And of course, Brad Garlinghouse did quote this post from the US Senate Banking Committee themselves. And he did say stablecoin policy is on its way. Big thanks to, and he did outline all of the senators behind this for their commitment on the Genius Act. Now, let's think about this logically for a little bit. So Ripple, a company that's been working with the biggest banks, the biggest institutions for so long, partnering with them around specific blockchain-based services. Okay, let's go all the way back over here to Jeremy Hogan's post, because now we have this bill, passed completely. We look at this and, all of a sudden we could see that merge happening. Now here we have a few things from this. Number one, I want to break this down here itself because, these are some of the provisions that were added to the Genius Act before it was passed out of the committee today. Now there's still, a few things that have to be in place before this gets completely greenlit. But again, this is one of the biggest bills that we have on the table right now around stablecoins and crypto. But the big thing here is how all of this pertains to having stablecoins integrated within the U.S. financial system. The merge is being planned, it's happening, and we're starting to see the digital asset space connected, plug and played into the trad system. The traditional system as we know it is changing. It's going digital. And the best way to do this is through stablecoins. And it's crazy to think that Ripple just launched their USD stablecoin. They're getting approved for all of these major regulatory approvals. They have over 60 plus of them now. So they're fully compliant, fully regulated. And not to even mention the fact that, all of this is happening right around the time where it feels as though the SEC case is about to completely disappear. I just find this very coincidental. And you guys already know me, I don't believe in coincidences. It just feels as if a lot of this has been planned for a very long time. Now, over here from Eleanor, we do have some bipartisan provisions were added to the Genius Act before it passed out of committee today. Per a Senate aide, here's what was added. Amendment to clarify the treatment of payment stablecoins that are not issued by a permitted issuer. Amendment that requires regulators to consider the competence, experience, and integrity of key leaders at an applicant's company. Amendment that adds language to prohibit the use of deceptive names by a payment stablecoin issuer. Amendment that clarifies the bill's intention to maintain the status quo as it relates to master account access at the Federal Reserve. Amendment that gives customers of stablecoins a super priority over other creditors in bankruptcy. Amendment to clarify reserve requirements as well. So again, you can see all of the moves being made here to get the stablecoin legislation done, get it done right and correct. That way we don't completely kill innovation. Things start progressing rapidly as well. And it also spotlights a lot of those big players in and even outside of the US that want to support the US dollar, because again, these stablecoins fully support the US dollar. I feel as if Ripple does have a big hand to play here, and not to mention, big shout out to Subjective Views for this, because Congress themselves stress the importance of highly regulated stablecoins, but they specifically mentioned the New York Department of Financial Services. Coincidence? I think not. Ripple's RLUSD is way ahead of the game. Big shout to Subjective Views for this, because again, here we have Ripple Labs gets NYDFS, New York Department of Financial Services, approval for RLUSD stablecoin. This was a massive one. And this video clip is a little bit longer, but listen closely, because this does all pertain back to RLUSD and of course the XRP ledger, because RLUSD is minted out on the ledger as well as Ethereum. But so far, a lot has been happening around the ledger for XRP. Check this out.
There's been a lot of concern about debanking crypto companies with mixed messaging from the federal regulators on how traditional finance can integrate with and provide essential services to the crypto industry. Bank of New York is a New York State chartered bank that has been actively working with crypto companies. And this has been facilitated by clear guidance to banks from the New York's Department of Financial Services, and has led to a vibrant crypto ecosystem in New York for crypto companies and traditional financial institutions. New York's leadership here demonstrates the importance of a strong state pathway for stablecoin regulation. Can you talk about the importance of working with the New York's DFS in building a strong, well-regulated crypto ecosystem in New York?
Thank you very much, Congressman, for your question. We work very closely with the New York DFS and with all our regulators. And given the evolving nature of this space, it's very important to have that very engaged dialogue on a continuous basis to ensure that, again, we know the clarity that we can operate in, and as these rules evolve and as the ecosystem evolve, we can make sure that there's a two-way communication. But clear and consistent framework across the entire ecosystem needs to be upheld at all times, and it needs to not be, whether you choose a state pathway or whether you choose a federal pathway, we need to have consistency at the federal level for our regulations and our legislation so that we can ensure the integrity of the entire ecosystem and all players are meeting that high standard.
Thank you. You spoke about Paxio's history with the New York State DFS in your testimony. What do you see as the advantages of state regulation as a stablecoin issuer?
Thank you, Congressman, for the question. The New York DFS was the first regulator in the world to approve the issuance of a regulated stablecoin. And I think that underscores the importance of having a state pathway that allows innovation to happen and continue to happen. In fact, the regulations and the framework that the DFS has constructed has been, I think, the cornerstone for a number of regulators around the world as they have built their frameworks. I think that really shows how important it is for the states to be able to lead. If we didn't have New York leading, today there wouldn't be a prudentially regulated stablecoin issued from the United States.
Now, I, like many of my colleagues, have concerns about the use of stablecoins and other digital assets by illicit actors. And I appreciate that you and I have had the opportunity to discuss the importance of including strong illicit financing protections in any stablecoin bill that becomes law. What is your perspective on where the greatest risks are, and how should we think about addressing them?
I think it's very important to make sure that there are bank standards, which today Paxos adheres to, for AML, KYC, and BSA. The last thing we want is anybody using these products illegally. I think also this new technology creates new tools. So there has to be new frameworks, there has to be new ways to be able to understand how assets are being utilized. And in the one hand, we'll create new ways for people to have access to this, which is important. On the other hand, it could create new ways for people to use it illegally. And with the right types of protections and the right types of bank-like standards for knowing your customer, I think you can have a framework that allows you to marry both the risks and the rewards in the right way.
So again, we look at the highest class of compliance and regulations, and we really look to the New York Department of Financial Services because, Congress and I'm sure Senate, all of the big players, like all of these senators, all of these big players around Congress, they hold this to the highest stature. So, Ripple having this around RLUSD puts them at the forefront. So if we are going to see stablecoins being integrated within the traditional financial system to back the US dollar, support the US financial system, who do you think is right there, at the forefront, right at the door, just waiting? It's Ripple with RLUSD. And think about what this will do for the XRP ledger, considering the fact that we know Ripple has stated many times over, even though the stablecoin is mainly built for payments, it still utilizes the XRP ledger and XRP. And Monica Long, Brad Garlinghouse, even David Schwartz, Marcus Inventor as well, all of these players from Ripple have said that the RLUSD stablecoin will actually support XRP ledger growth and also even XRP itself. And in fact, actually strengthens XRP's utility itself as well. So again, I'm very bullish about this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, though. If you did enjoy this video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.